My name is Darrell Pinto, and I'm with Jumpstart, Refugee Talent. I'm going to take probably less than 7 minutes to share a story with you. And this story has a beginning that lasts 30 years, it has a middle that lasts 10 years, and an end which is really this present moment. I came to Canada as an international student, 2 years of high school and then university. My immigrant parents had a very strong view of what a career should be. And I spent the first 30 years after arriving in Canada focused on exactly that, my career. And sure, I volunteered once in a while, but the volunteer intention was to put something on my resume that furthered my career. I was fairly successful in that corporate career. 30 years, I've lived and worked in Shanghai, in New York, in London, mostly in Toronto. But at the end of that, the start of that second part of my story, or the beginning of the middle of the story, is that I went to Nepal, an adventure trip. I hiked to base camp of Mount Everest, and that 3-week vacation or trip changed my perspective on what I was doing with my life. I ran across many people on that trip who were very poor. I mean, nothing of what you and I own in this audience. Yet they were happy from the inside out, like in a way I could experience and not properly understand, given they hardly had anything that they owned. So when I came back from that trip, I started wondering about, the successful career I had had. I'm nowhere near as happy as these people that I met in Nepal. And I thought about, maybe volunteering some more, giving back to the community. But I did nothing with that. I sat on that idea for a whole year, thinking I should at some point volunteer. A year passed by, and almost a year to the day of my returning back from Nepal, there was a massive earthquake in Nepal that hit Kathmandu. And many of the people that I'd met on that trip, the very happy people, were reaching out to me on Facebook and asking for help. And it was that earthquake that kind of jolted me out of my slumber. And it was that point that I said, I really need to get off my behind and start volunteering. And I started dipping my toe. It literally was 2 hours a month, helping newcomers and refugees arriving in this country. But I was really enjoying it because it connected me with part of my own experience coming here as an international student. And that 2 hours a month gradually grew and grew and grew. And eventually I was volunteering for more hours than I was working in my corporate job. Not getting paid a cent for it, but the amount of joy I was deriving from that volunteering was immense. COVID came along, and like all of you in this room and around the world, it was an immediate pause. All of us were stuck at home. Myself, I had a chance to rethink what I was doing with my life. I was enjoying my corporate career, but it wasn't giving me nearly the sense of joy as my volunteering activities. And I made the decision to leave the corporate world behind and join full-time a charitable organization that is, operates right across Canada, helping refugees find meaningful work. And that switch, many of my corporate peers didn't understand. They immediately thought I was having a COVID breakdown and a crisis of some kind. And I couldn't really translate why I was doing it to them to the extent I understand now. That was 2.5 years ago. And I wish I had made this switch earlier. It really was a mental switch of seeing volunteering not as an activity to further a career, but a sense of connection with community and giving back. So that leads me to the present moment. So this is 10 years ago that I decided to start dipping my toe into volunteering, and it expanded ever since. So looking back over the last 10 years, here are the benefits I've experienced personally. Health. I am much healthier than when I first, the 30 years at the beginning of the story. My energy levels are pretty amazing. I woke up at 4:45 this morning, and that's 14 hours into the day, and I'm going to keep going. I don't feel tired at all. And I compare that. My benchmark is my brothers and sister, who have the same lived experience, the same family as I did, but they get drained after a day at work. And for me, it's really finding my passion in doing what I do and volunteering, making it a full-time job that I find energy giving. I met my partner over the last 10 years while volunteering. So that's another benefit. I wouldn't chalk that up to everybody, but it worked for me. And I said this is the end of the story, but really, for me, it's a continuing part of my life journey. I would encourage everyone here, if you know, my excuse earlier on was I don't have the time, I'm focused on career, I have family. Everybody can make time. And I will guarantee you this, in the time that you do find, whether it's an hour, whether it's days, it will give you energy and a sense of connection with community, which is just so very important in this day and age. Thank you.